Hello students, welcome to the economics virtual classroom at vista.com. So children, what do you feel when you hear the word economics? I know most of you have not learned this subject earlier, so therefore this may be a new subject for many of you. But you may be having a kind of picture regarding economics. Therefore, you may be thinking economics is a subject which is related to money. Actually, is it related to money? No. Economics is a subject about how we are making choices. You and me both are making so many choices in our day-to-day lives. So for an example, you have selected the subject of economics for your Cambridge examination out of many subjects which were available. So it was a choice that you have made. Likewise, we are making so many choices in our day-to-day lives. So economics will help us to choose the best alternative, and also it will be helpful for you to get the best results in the examination. So let's start with the first chapter in economics, the nature of the economic problem. So we are going to discuss about the economic problem through this video. So before directly moving to the economic problem, let's discuss about the basic concepts that you should know before going to the economic problem. So let's start with the first concept, which is unlimited wants. So I hope most of you have heard the terms of needs and wants, because you have learned business studies even in your lower grades. There you learned about needs and wants. So simply, I'll recall the memory. Simply, needs are the basic requirements that should be fulfilled for survival, and wants are the things we would like to have in our lives. So there is a difference between these two. So we differentiate it especially in business studies, but what you have to remember is in economics we don't identify a big difference between needs and wants. So we take these two as a single concept in economics. So what is important is wants are unlimited. Why we are telling wants are unlimited? Let's discuss an example. When we think of food as the need, so there are different ways of fulfilling the need of food. So I would prefer rice and curry. So you may prefer burger or pizza. So some other person may prefer string hoppers or milk rice. So likewise, there are different ways of fulfilling the need. So what is important is wants are unlimited. That means that will not be limited to a part, right? So it will be unlimited for, let's say, if I have a mobile phone and if the latest version, better phone than the mobile phone I have is there in the market, I would like to go for that phone, right? When it comes to a laptop also, we would like to go for a better one. When we think of a motor car, we like to go for a better car. So likewise, always we would like to go for a better option. So that is the nature of human beings. Therefore, these wants are unlimited, right? So that is an important concept that you should keep in your mind throughout this economic course of study, right? So then so we have understood what is meant by unlimited wants. So let's move to limited resources. So what do you mean by resources? Resources are the factors which are used in producing goods and services. So let's take an example. Think of a bakery. So in a bakery, their product is whatever a bakery product like bread or buns. So there they are using so many resources to produce that product. So we can take wheat flour, salt, water, and also there are equipments, machines and tools, and also workers are working there in the production flow. So all these resources should be there to carry out the production process. So all those things belong to the factors of production or resources. So what you have to understand is these resources are limited in nature. So let's think of wheat flour. Do we have an unlimited supply of wheat flour? No, the supply of wheat flour is limited. So because of that, the amount of bakery products which can be produced are also limited. So by using these limited resources, an economy can produce only a limited amount of goods and services. So another concept that you have to keep in your mind is resources are limited in an economy, right? So is there a relationship between these limited resources and unlimited wants? Yes, of course there is a relationship. So we'll discuss that now. Right, I told you that there is a relationship between unlimited wants and limited resources. So what is that relationship? So how we are going to fulfill our wants? We are consuming goods and services in order to fulfill our wants. So these goods and services are produced using these resources. So resources are used to produce goods and services. So we use limited resources to produce goods and services. So can we produce unlimited amount of goods and services? No. As we are using limited resources, we can have only a limited amount of goods and services. It means by using these limited goods and services, we can fulfill only limited amount of wants. It means we can't fulfill all these unlimited wants. So I'll just put a cross here to state that we can't fulfill all the unlimited wants, but limited amount of wants can be fulfilled. So because of this relationship between unlimited wants and limited resources, it creates the economic problem which is known as the scarcity. So you should keep this in your mind throughout this series of economics, because scarcity is the basic economic problem. So we can define scarcity is a situation where there are not enough resources to satisfy unlimited wants, or else we can say it is a situation where unlimited wants exceed the limited resources, right? So that is known as scarcity, which is the basic problem faced by each and every economy in the world. Okay, this is the definition of scarcity. If you want, you can take down the definition by pausing the video. So as you have an understanding about scarcity, I have a question now. Do you think scarcity can be avoided with the time? No, we can't avoid scarcity, even though with the time the number of goods and services in the market are increasing. Still we can't avoid the problem of scarcity. You may think now at the present in the market there are so many goods and services than the previous days. Like before 100 years ago there were no smartphones, but now we have smartphones in the market. So and also they are developing day by day, and the number of products in the market are increasing. So you may think because of this increasing of the products in the market we can avoid the problem of scarcity. No, we can't avoid the problem of scarcity because the unlimited wants of people are increasing. Even though the products are increasing, that cannot be matched with the increasing unlimited wants, right? So that because of that you should understand problem of scarcity cannot be avoided with the time. And also you may think the developed countries are not facing the problem of scarcity because as they are developed they are having a lot of resources with them, so they might not have a problem of scarcity. No, they are also facing the problem. Even though underdeveloped countries are having less amount of resources and the developed countries are having lot of resources, still their wants are unlimited, or we can say their wants are increasing day by day, so they can't match their resources with the unlimited wants of a developed country. So the problem of scarcity cannot be avoided even in a developed country, right? So and when we talk about different contexts, let's say for an example, if there is a farmer having a specific land portion, a specific square feet of land with him, and he wishes to cultivate so many crops. Like he may like to have so many crops to be cultivated in the land, but can he cultivate all those? No, because the land is limited, so he has to select one or two crops to be cultivated in that limited space. So that is because the resource of land is limited. And when we think of you as a student, now you are watching this video, but you may wish to do some other thing at this time, like watching television, or you may prefer to read a book, but you can't do all those things at the same time because your time is limited, right? Time is a resource and it is limited, so you can't do all the things that you wish to do, right? And when it comes to a business also, a business may prefer to produce different items. For let's say for an example, business may prefer to produce garments as well as electrical items. But if the number of workers are limited, can they produce both these in their production? No, as the factor of labor is limited, it is difficult to produce both the electrical items and garments. So what you have to understand is this problem of scarcity is common for each and every person in the world, right? So I think you are clear with the concept of scarcity. That is a very important concept in economics that you should keep in your mind throughout this series. Right, then we'll move to the next concept, which is economic goods. So what do you mean by economic goods? So we have so many examples for economic goods. Almost all the goods are economic goods. So let's say for an example, this marker pen is an economic good. This whiteboard, all the food we are eating and the dresses, all these items are economic goods. So why we call these as economic goods? Economic goods are the goods which are produced using resources and are limited in supply. So they don't have have an unlimited supply. Now I told that this marker pen is an example. So do we have an unlimited supply of these marker pens? No, right? So these are economic goods. Simply we can define economic goods as goods which use resources to produce and which are limited in supply. I think it is clear for you all. I already explained this with examples also, so you can take down this definition and examples as well. So you can go through this video and you can write down your own note. So let's move to the next concept, the final concept in this video, which is free goods. I know most of you think these free goods are goods which we get free of charge. When you see the term free goods, like we feel like these are the goods we get free of charge. No, free goods are not the goods we get free of charge. So we can say free goods are goods which do not use resources and they are unlimited in supply. So do we have examples of free goods? Yes, but they are very rare. So we can say sunlight and wind coming from the ocean for the people who are living around the ocean, and so those are examples for free goods, right? So you have to remember that these are not the goods which we get free of charge. Let's say for an example, if you get a birthday gift from your parents, you get it free of charge, but it is not a free good because that gift is prepared or produced using resources and their supply is limited. And also we can say another example, if the government provides uniforms for government employees free of charge, like for the employee they don't pay any amount, but that uniforms are economic goods, they are not free goods because they are produced using resources and they are limited in supply, right? So you can understand that free goods are not the goods which we get free of charge, but which are produced using resources and therefore limited in supply. Right, free goods are the goods which do not use resources and are unlimited in supply. So I think you are clear with the meaning of free goods as well. So through this video we discussed about unlimited wants, which is a very important concept in economics, and then about the limited resources, and scarcity, which is the basic economic problem or the mismatch between unlimited wants and limited resources. Then after we discussed about economic goods and free goods, which are two types of goods we should learn under economics. So as you have understood these 5 concepts, now you can do the question given in your textbook. The questions I have also added to the short note also. So I'll be giving you 2 minutes to write the answers for the multiple choice questions given in your textbook. So first you can write the answers for the three multiple choice questions given in page number 5 at the end of the first chapter. Right, as those are very easy 3 questions, so we'll discuss the answers. So the first question, why does scarcity exist? So you have given with 4 answers, so you have to select the correct answer from the given 3 options. So why does scarcity exist? What is the reason for the scarcity? Answer A, each year workers tend to produce less than previously. So it is not acceptable. It is about the production. They say that the production is less than previously produced, so we can accept that sometimes it may be more than the previous year, or sometimes that can be less than the previous year. So we can't accept answer A. Answer B is machines wear out with time. Yes, of course machines wear out with time due to the usage, but it is not the reason for scarcity. And then answer C, there are not sufficient resources to produce all the products people want. So that explains the mismatch between the limited resources and unlimited wants. So that is what scarcity means. Therefore answer should be C, and we will check the answer D also. There is a limit to people's wants. So that is a wrong statement. We know people's wants are unlimited. Therefore answer is answer C, there are not sufficient resources to produce all the products people want. So as you have the question with you, I'll just write the correct answer on the board. And then we'll move to the second question. Why will scarcity continue to be a problem in the future? So why this scarcity will be there every day? So first one, or the answer A, prices will rise. So that is not a problem for scarcity. And then the quantity of resources will decline, right? Quantity of some resources, the quantity may decline, but we can't say all the resources quantity are declining. So answer B cannot be accepted. And then answer C, wants will continue to increase. So I told you, with the time wants of people are also increasing. So that is the nature of human beings. So answer C is correct, and we'll check the answer D also. World population will fall. You know, world population is increasing, right? So that is a wrong statement. So answer for the question 2 is answer C, wants will continue to increase. And then the third question, which of the following is a free good? Now you know what is meant by free goods. Free goods are the goods which do not use resources and which are unlimited in supply. So first one, answer A, inoculation provided without charge by the state. So whether it is not charged by the state, that will be an economic good because that uses resources to produce it. So I already explained it. And answer B, products given away by a supermarket to attract customers. Even though the products are given free of charge in a supermarket, again that uses economic resources to produce. Therefore, they are coming under the category of economic goods. And answer C, recycled paper. So recycled paper again uses resources to produce them, so they are economic goods. And the final answer, wind coming from the sea. You know, it is unlimited, so supply is unlimited and they don't use any resource to produce that. So wind coming from sea is a free good. Therefore, the answer for question 3 is answer D. Right, so those are the answers for the multiple choice questions given in your textbook at the end of the chapter. And also you have 2 more 4-part question and the group activity also. So I have attached those to your homework question. So you can do your homework and you will be getting the answers for those questions by the next week.